What's up, guys? Before anyone even says so, yes, I've had a haircut. I've shaved my beard, and I thought it'd be kind of funny to leave this little bit of a mustache. It's funny. So, what can I say? Look, say what you will about it, but today we're going to be talking about that drop, the price drop, the Sony event that was last night, and we're going to be kind of comparing it a little bit to what Microsoft did. So, I'm not going to go over every game, every little tidbit of information that was released. Just the main things for me before we talk about the pricing, because that's the real thing we need to get into. So, Demon Souls has been kind of, I'm not going to say announced, but it's a launch game. It's officially a launch game. Great. There was always questions about Demon Souls, whether or not it would be launched, whether or not it'd be a couple of months late. The game is beautiful looking, there was some more gameplay, and yeah, it's definitely a launch game, so something for a lot of us to go check out. Then there was Miles Morales, the Spider-Man game, and it is coming to PS4 as well, so then people that don't want to upgrade just yet, you can obviously still play it. What was really cool though is if you buy, I think the £70 or £65 version, then it will be slightly, what is it? So if you buy the regular £50 version, you get Miles Morales game. If you buy like the £70 Ultimate Edition, you get the original Spider-Man, like redone. I guess I don't imagine they'll do much with it though, because it's already a very good looking game. But for me, that is a really good package if you've not played the first one. Who knows? I just nearly hiccuped my throat out. And then we saw the Harry Potter RPG. This is something that was kind of in the woodwork for a long time in terms of leaks and stuff like that. But it looks like a full-fledged RPG game, either set in the Harry Potter world, like universe, or you play as Harry Potter. Need more information, but it could be really good. I just hope it isn't just another RPG. Like, if you're going to say it's a Harry Potter RPG or the Hogwarts RPG, whatever, you've really got to lean into that. You've got to lean into all that magic, all the chaos, all the in-depth storytelling. So, we'll have to wait and see there. And then, right at the end, the screen kind of comes back on, and a God of War symbol's drawn, and you've got the awesome God of War music in the background. And yeah, God of War 2 is set to release next year, which is absolutely incredible. First God of War was in my top 5 games of all time ever. It was that good. But yeah, God of War 2, it could be, I mean, it could be a killer, really, couldn't it? It could be amazing. And then from there was the PS Plus, the PS Plus collection. Which was a bunch of games basically free to download on day one of the PS5 release. So it's like a collection of big games that showed Uncharted 4, Ratchet and Clank, the 2016 one, I believe it was Mortal Kombat, a couple of others in there as well. But if you already have PS Plus, which most people seem to, you get them all for free. You can download them digitally on day one, which is amazing, because usually the issue with consoles and release dates is there's nothing to play, or the stuff that is there to play is kind of crap. So at least we know now there's going to be enough to play for the first sort of, couple of months at least until games start properly coming out. Right, now let's talk about pricing. This was the big thing. Everyone was speculating, what will it cost? Is it going to try and beat Xbox? Is it not? Well, the pricing is as so. For the disc version, it's $4.99, and for the discless, is $3.99. Now, that is what a lot of people thought it would be. That's a good price. People are forgetting that the PS3 was like 600 quid at one point, I swear. So, that's a good price. And then if we compare that to Xbox, I'm not going to say their discless version, but their digital, less powerful version is £250 in pounds, and their sort of full powered one is £4.99 as well, I believe. and these prices could change. You know, there's always a chance that for some strange reason they decide to change it. Looking at my notes though, yeah, so in terms of pricing, what do I think here? So people need to understand this. The Xbox, their digital version, is a lot less powerful, okay, a lot less. In terms of power, I haven't got all the specs in front of me, but you are, for me, you're not getting 250 quid's worth of power out. You know, like, I like to think about it like this. So nowadays, you can pick up a PS4 for 80 quid. I often see it going on the market, you know, Facebook Market, eBay, whatever, 80 quid. Same with the Xbox One. And then you look at the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One Pro. I don't know what the fuck they call it. But they go for like 200 quid, okay? I could pick a PS4 Pro, 200 quid. And as far as I'm aware, like for comparing Xbox to Xbox, the Xbox Pro, whatever it is actually more powerful than this new digital Xbox. And it costs less. So why wouldn't you just buy that? It's cheaper. Like 250 quid for a console that looks very underpowered compared to anything else. Like, I get what they're doing here, and I actually think it's really great. Don't get me wrong. They're saying, look, 250 quid for maybe people that can't afford a full-fledged powerhouse, or 250 quid if maybe you only want to play, I don't know, Fortnite, for example. I know it sounds stupid, but there must be a lot of people out there that have a console purely for Fortnite. It is still the biggest online game in the world by a mile. I wouldn't be surprised if people was buying this purely for that 1 or 2 games they want, which makes sense. You know, this is the kind of console you can buy. It's smaller, you can fit it on a shelf nice and easy. It's less powerful, but again, a lot less expensive. I see the benefits, and I must admit, at one point for like a whole 5 seconds, I was like, maybe I should pick one up. But then I was like, oh no, PS5. So, but yeah, look, what can I say? It's going to be a lot more niche. And then we go on to the PS5's digital version. Now, their digital version, as far as I'm aware, is no less powerful than the disc version. The only difference is one of them you don't have a disc drive on. Okay? Now, I'm no genius. I wouldn't assume a disc drive costs 100 quid, especially when they're going to be earning more off the digital version. Because if you buy it digital, you've got to buy everything off their store, so they're going to be earning money there. Whereas if you buy disc version, you can just go and buy... Oh, actually, no, that does make sense. No, I just realised in my head that makes sense. Because obviously they can sell it cheaper because they know they're going to make more money. Whereas a disc version, they're obviously going to want to sell it for more because you might then go and buy cheaper physical games. That makes sense. But yeah, so £399. That is a great price. I was kind of expecting between 500 and 600 quid, which I was going to cry myself to sleep about. But this price is kind of, for the average working person, if you're earning, I don't know, how much do people earn a week? Average 800 quid? Maybe? Yeah, it's got to be 800, hasn't it? No. £800 a week, that'd be mental. I don't know, like 500 a week? We'll say 500. So what's that, 2,000 a month, you pay your rent. I would say, if you was wanting this and you was strapped for money, if you saved up for 4 or 5 months, I reckon you would have enough. You know, like, think about it like this. If you saved up £50 a month, what's that? 50. That'd be 8 months. So if you save 50 quid a month, okay, that'd be 8 months. So you could get it in less than a year. So that's not too bad. Then you got the disc version, which £4.99. Again, it's a big price. £500 is a lot of money. That's £500, isn't it? But again, you think people spend over £1,000 on the phone now, so I'm surprised they didn't go this route. And for the power you're getting, if you want to still be able to play discs, that's obviously a no-brainer. But for me, what do I think is going to be kind of the order of selling? I think the Xbox One, no, the Xbox Series S. Jeez, I wish I'd change their names. You know, how is it? PS4, PS5, simple. Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X. You know, it's such an awkward thing. Just call it. You know, you had the Xbox One, say the Xbox Two. How is that difficult? Anyway, my thoughts and feelings in terms of what will sell and what won't sell. So the Xbox Series S is going to be at bottom. I think there's going to be people buying it, but in terms of percentages, so let's imagine there's 100% of everyone that's going to buy one of these new consoles. I would say 4 to 5%. I can't imagine that many people buying it, other than the people, like I say, maybe want it for the kids, maybe want it just to play now and again. It is the cheaper version. And then we go on to, I reckon, the next worst selling is going to be the other Xbox. Look, people can throw around teraflops and all this. Again, as I said in one of my other videos, people don't actually know what they're on about 99% of the time. People won't research stuff. They'll just be like, oh, well, it said it had 12 teraflops, and PS5 only has 11.2987 teraflops. And so that means that the Xbox must be better in every way. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to take into account, you know, SSD, teraflops, whatever. Then you've even got to take into account little things. Like, people don't realise, but even stuff like the ports on the console can make a huge difference. For me personally, my PS4 is my charging station. I don't have any other sockets around me other than my PS4 and monitor that are plugged in, and so I've had to buy a ridiculous charging sort of adapter thing, because the original PS4 only has 2 USB slots. Now, one of them is for my 1TB hard drive plugged in, which leaves me with one space to either charge my phone, my controller, my earphones, you know, whatever it might be, my you know, electric penis, whatever I need to charge. I've now only got one slot. Now, I haven't gone an in-depth look at the newer consoles, see how many slots they have, but there is always a chance that they're going to fall down that rabbit hole. And just looking at the Xbox Series X, it looks awkward. It looks like there's maybe 1 or 2 ports on the front, and then there's ports mainly on the back, which looks weird. I'm sure the PS5, I don't know, they could have 1 port as well. It's something we're going to have to wait and see, but these things are what makes or breaks a console, essentially, because if you're using every day, have to struggle and get behind it, you're going to kind of get a bit annoyed, aren't you? And then you've got stuff like design. You know, it's another one that people need to take into account. The Xbox Series S looks disgusting. Look, this is my opinion. I've seen some people say they like it, but it looks like the Xbox One, but with a black circle in. It looks like one of them knockoff China consoles. You know, that you get like, you know, 10,000 in one games for 30 quid. It looks like that. And then you've got the Xbox Series X that doesn't, I'll be honest, over time it's kind of grown a little bit, but it's just a big old box, isn't it? It looks like the packaging that you would open up in order to get the console out of. It doesn't look like the finished product, which I understand what we're going for. You can shove it in the corner, whatever, but at the same time, just try and do something slightly more innovative, you know? Just slightly. And it's like, on the console, they had all them holes on top, and it looked like on the adverts there was like a green glow underneath. Now, that would have been cool. Simple LED lights. PlayStation's got a simple tiny little light bar on it. Xbox has something similar on its power button, but no, I think it's possibly just like a green mesh instead. I don't know. There's obviously no guarantee at this point, but I just wish Xbox would innovate a little bit more in terms of design. And then you go on to what I think is going to be the next best selling, is the digital PS5. And then finally the disc version, I think, is going to sell the absolute best. I could see PS5, because pre-orders going on sale today, as far as I'm aware, I could see it like outselling already, like within the first week, which would be amazing. But going back to design, yes, the PS5 is a wacky design. Don't get me wrong. First time I saw it, I was like, oh, I don't know about that one, mate. That looks a little bit too out there, considering you went from a PS1 that, to this day, is so simple and so classic. But you know, I I think it's an amazing looking system. Then the PS2, which is such an iconic design. You know, it is a box, but it's a box and it has, you know, little inflex here and there, and the buttons that just look nice, and you could turn the little logo. Everything about it, it just looked like it was just beautifully done. Then you had the PS3, which is probably the worst looking PlayStation console for me. It's not a bad looking one, but it was just kind of like box. But this time, oh, we're gonna round it. It was a nice looking console, but not perfect. And then PS4, which, look, I have to say, PS4 is just a beautiful console. It is just a slightly off angle, sort of rectangle, simple but effective. And then PS5, and they've gone, right, let's just do something different. And look, at the start I was a bit iffy. Now I kind of dig it. It's apparently massive, and I'm all up for it. It looks really crazy. It looks stupid at times, but I don't know. I think in 3 or 4 years, people are going to be sat there with it on their you know, side and be like, oh yeah, it's just normal now, or whatever. But yeah, that's my impressions on these consoles. What do I think is going to sell best? Like I say, the disc version. What games do I think are going to sell best? Miles Morales all day long. I can't see any other game. I mean, this is going to hit, what, 20, 30 million copies sold in its lifetime, which is going to be incredible. PlayStation, I say, has had such a good record with exclusives at the minute. God of War, The Last of Us Part 2, you know, Days Gone. They've had some absolute bangers. So that was the showcase. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought overall. You know, what was your favourite bits, maybe, or not. You don't have to tell me anything. Stay safe. I'll see you guys next time.